military, and then went to Nova Southeastern, became a pharmacist, and he's my pharmacist up in Coral Springs at the Publix. And he's written a book regarding the escape, and this details what happened to him in Vietnam, and how he got out of there, and etc. And he's got his books here. I think the paperbacks are what, $20, and the hard copy is $30. And you'll be glad to sell it to you and autograph it for you. But I'm going to let you go ahead and tell all about yourself and everything. And welcome. Go right in.
Thank you very much. Thank you. It's such a privilege to be here with you guys, all the amazing people in this room. And I know a lot of you guys was Vietnam vets. Thank you very much. I want to thank Mr. Wayne McDonald, who made the connection to this organization, and I want to thank Kenneth Parkinson, who allowed this to happen for me to be here. And I want to thank you for your organization, give me the opportunity to be here to talk about what I have to say about my journey. Ladies and gentlemen, please allow me to take you back to one night, about 32 years ago. The night was the darkest night I ever remember. I was sitting in the room with several others. I was waiting and waiting for the right time to go to the boat. I waited and waited, and suddenly I heard the big loud noise from the main door, pushed open. I stood up and looked out of my room. I saw a man with a long rifle. I recognized that the Vietcong police. I turned my back. I turned to the back door and ran out of the room quickly as I could. The fear was tremendous. My breathing was so fast, and the panicking was unbelievable. I knew that I was so scared because I would get shot, killed, or captured and sent to the deepest jungle for the hard labor by the communists. Hello, my friends. My name is Du Hua. I was born in Quang Ngai, which is close to the Nang. I was born in the early 60s. And I was born in the war zone. I saw the killings and the destruction by the war when I was just a little boy. I witnessed the brutality of the communists throughout my childhood. And then, suddenly, there was a darkest day, the 30th of April, 1975, for the Republic of South Vietnam. The collapse, the panic, the fall of Saigon, the real threat to the southern Vietnamese people. The South Vietnam have fallen into the hand of the communists. Consequently, the people had to accept their fate. We had to live with the communists. My family, just like any others, had to follow their rules and regulations. My family was forced to move to the wild land to plant vegetable, potato for living. I was just a young boy, and I experienced the first hand of the hardest labor throughout my teen years. It was obvious there was no future for the young. God had loved me. He told me that I could have the opportunity to fight the way out. At the end of 1979. With the arrangement of my family, I traveled to the town called Vung Tau, close to Saigon, and I started my mission. My mission was to escape the communist regime. But the mission did not come easy for this young man. He had to escape 11 times before he can make it down to the ocean. But the desperation did not stop there. His boat was running 5 days and 5 nights in the deep sea with a strong wind and big wave. But this tiny watercraft did not reach any destination. The boat was lost. Water and food supply was running out. Fuel were almost empty. The people in the boat knew that they were facing the imminent death. They began chanting to God and asked God to take their soul to the heaven, while their bodies would sink to the bottom ocean floor. However, God has sent an angel to help the refugees. I keep looking to the horizon, and suddenly I see a small black dot from the far distance. I scream out loud. I see land. Everyone turned his or her face of the desperation and hopelessness into a small glimpse of shining light of hope in everyone's eyes. The next few moments, the black dot getting larger and larger quickly. Everybody in the boat yelled loudly, "It's a big ship!" The ship was our angel and saved everyone on board. The most desperate moment of any person would ever turn back to life. It was obvious that we found life in the death. My first step on that ship, I kneel down and I looked up above and said, "Thank you, Lord, for saving me, saving my people." Dear my friends, in September 1982, I got an airplane ticket to go to the United States of America. That was the happiest day of my life. I knew I finally reached destination of freedom. My life continued on with struggles. I live in the new country, the new society with a new language. Language barriers have been the hardest obstacles for my new life. But I was determined. I knew what I had to do to become a good son of my new motherland. In Christmas of 1987, I was so proud and happy to wear one of the uniform of the armed forces. I was part of the United States Navy. I served my new country on my ship, my carrier CV-66 USS America. Ladies and gentlemen, I went through the most struggles to seek freedoms, and then I fought to protect it. Freedom isn't free. I would like to document all what I went through. I finally got myself all together and wrote the book, The Escapes and My Journey to Freedom. This is the story of life and death, good and evil, hardship and fortune. I would like people to understand what communism is all about. I also need to tell you people the other side of the war, of the Vietnam War after the fall of Saigon. I would like everyone to see freedom is a fundamental human right. I would like everybody to know that I overcome many hurdles and pitfalls to come to the United States of America. And my perseverance through my ongoing struggles to serve my new country, through my time as a U.S. Navy, and through my service to my patient at a pharmacist. Knowing freedom is so precious, I could not thank enough people who have fought and trying to preserve the freedom and democracy around the world. There were more than 58,000 servicemen, American men, and more than 100,000 of the South Vietnamese soldiers have paid their ultimate sacrifice for the freedom of Vietnam. Many got wounded, and some lucky to come back home. You all are my heroes. And thank you so much for serving. Without you, we wouldn't have the freedom we have today. I hope people who read this book would really appreciate much more about the value of freedom and democracy, what we have here. We don't want to take the crucial element of love of our great nation for granted. I hope this book would keep reminding our younger generations and our children that freedom is not free, so they can realize the sense of their responsibility toward this beautiful country. Dear my friends, I'm so blessed to be alive and well, and stand here in front of you and have the opportunity to speak with you about my journey today. There's still much more we can do, and I wanted to do more. I would like to thank you for listening from the bottom of my heart. Thank you very much, and God bless.
The ship you were on, where did it come from? Was it a Vietnamese ship, or was it?
Oh, the ship that rescued me was what the...
No, I'm talking about the one you left Vietnam on.
All they do, go along the coast, because they know so many people got died under the ocean.
Oh, they were looking for
rescue a lot of Vietnamese, yes.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. You said you tried to escape 11 times?
11 times, yes.
What was happening after you got caught? You just punished or you sent back to
I was lucky. I was running away. I described that almost every escape that I did.
But they would
and
punish you?
didn't get caught. I didn't get into the hand of their communists. I was lucky, very lucky.
So you just had to find a fisherman willing to take you?
Well, I was many times I trying to escape and didn't happen, and then I finally become a mechanic. So I know the real people with the real boat.
Okay.
So that's how I did it. Even though it still fell a few times afterwards, but finally I made it.
So how old were you when you escaped?
I was started when I was 17, and then until I got 19, then I made it around that time.
And from, like, when I was listening to you, 75 to 82, where were you before you got to the States?
Well, I was living with the communists. Yes, and that was, I saw all that they treat the people, especially the Southern Vietnamese people. Yes, I live with them. I do all the hard work, torture. Yes, sir.
Since then, today, have conditions become better for the former South Vietnamese people?
Yes or no? Here's the thing. Freedom is still not in Vietnam at this time, not at all. The Vietnamese government right now, the communists, they're very clever, they're very good in making money. What they do, they show outside, they show to the world that, oh, Vietnam now, they're totally different country. But what you see outside is not what inside. I actually can tell you, I can show you the actual inside corruption, take freedom people away, all sort of things. Still very bad in Vietnam, even worse than ever before. Yes. They love American people over there because traveling, they're making a ton of money. Most of the business there are either the leaders, families, cousins, whatever, their hand and their feet. Really, they got connected very well, so they can make the corruption.
Have you returned there?
After I finished my from the Nova Southeastern University, And the relation let people between Vietnam and U.S. getting easier. So they let the people come back to Vietnam. Then I still have my mother there at that time. She's still alive. So I make a few trips to go back there to see my mom, to visit her after many long years.
And is she still there?
No, she passed away, and then that's it. I'm not going back anymore until the government check.
Anybody got any more questions?
Yes,
You
sir.
said you left with your brother-in-law?
Yes, after time I escaped, I come with my brother-in-law, my nephew, yes. Yes. And he's now living in Germany.
Where did you go? Which country did you go to first? Where did you come and ship that?
When I got rescued in the ocean, and then they drop out in the Philippines, the refugee camp in the Philippines, and there we live and waiting for the processing for the third country.
And I'm sorry, we were late, so I didn't. What do you do now? You're a pharmacist?
Yes, I'm a pharmacist.
Cool.
Yes.
Very good.
Nova Southeastern University.
All right.
Anybody else got anything else want to ask him? I said he's got his book here. If you'd like a book, he'd be glad to get one
How
for
many
you.
people are on that fishing boat?
My boat, it's about, probably, I'd say, probably 23, 24 feet.
Yeah.
It's 102 people, men, women, and children.
Wow.
Yeah.
On a 23-foot boat?
Yeah, 23 foot. With about 18
You have to be desperate.
16 horsepower engine.
16 horsepower.
Only and I was mechanical.
All right.
We have a matching FBI hat.
Give you some on
Oh, wow. Thank you very much. I love hats.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.